Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda and
Motion to adopt the agenda with flexibility.
Second.
motion is second for that, adopt the agenda, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any additions or corrections to the minutes?
No. Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. New business. Right away in NIPSCO.
This is full replacement down here on 50 North, 300 East, some Sears. Looks like a simple pole replacement. The only concern here is we did just review this tile coming up under the road here at the intersection. The guide wire right over the old tile. This was not helpful in having to move the guide wire. We went ahead and just put the tile across the road through the guide wires, which is not great.
But like between the
In
guide
between 'em?
wires?
Like 3 guide wires through them. Not ideal. So I'd like to know which pole they're replacing and if they're planning on moving it to not to get further away from that tile because we got it in, but it's not easy to work there because of those stupid guide wires. So I had my question was, next goes, I know they can only move so far without a bunch of engineering crap. But at the same time, that pole was put there, guide wire slapped down on top of the old tile and made it a huge pain for us. And then they're not very helpful in having removed the guide wire we needed to get through there. So we just went through and just put it in there because at some point, contractor's time is worth something. This goes time doesn't worth much of anything, it seems like. So that's what we did. I'd like to make a recommendation to, and this is the pole I'm thinking about, that pole. I'd like to be located so it's not interference with our tile guide wires at least. That's my recommendation, but. I'm not
We've got, yeah, he's wearing a NIPSCO jacket, right?
I am. I can't speak to that. I'm not here on that behalf.
Oh,
Okay.
I can't speak to that.
will you represent this at all? Do we have to have somebody
You
here?
gotta have somebody here.
Sure, and I'm not here for that. So whatever that means, there's no representation on that, and there's no representation on that. The gal that's supposed to be here on what I'm here with is also not here, so I'm the Lone Ranger.
So which one, are you here for the for Jose?
I'm here for the one on 700 North.
Okay.
It is gas service along with electric service. I can
Yeah.
speak more to the gas and the electric.
In this
Well,
case.
I guess we're gonna table this one?
If we're gonna table it because nobody's here.
Next meeting, I'm not gonna approve something. It is, and I look at this plan, it is the pole that is interference with our tile and guide wires. Like I said, we met out there with.
Well, I mean, we can't.
Yep,
Might as well
Doesn't
wait.
matter.
We'll just discuss when we're here.
Well, you want to just wait,
Table
Instead of table it, or
we'll
just wait until see if somebody does show up? Okay.
So,
He said he's the one.
Are all from the same person submitted. First 4, so.
Okay, so.
Sam, excuse me, Sam, can you turn these on?
I,
You guys working?
Yeah.
We're not.
Go ahead. Don't stop for us. You're fine. Go ahead, Zach.
You hear this one too as well?
He said seven,
Yeah.
he said 700 south.
700 North.
That's screen seizure.
Yes, sir. Don't worry.
You're fine. Go ahead.
You get the big one, Tony.
Yeah, I got
Yeah. He's close enough.
Okay, we've talked about this one, this goes in here prior to on this, gas service going back to this new houses at 700 North, south side of Howell ways. There used to be a yellow line representing the tile or drain line. Look at the old aerials, it used to be kind of an open ditch, but they kind of filled it, we don't know if it's a tile in, if it's any tile in, but just looking at the pictures, it looks like we tried draining this wet hole years ago to the south, and just didn't drain very well, so then you just bulldozed the ditch shut, kind of. Place got a little bit more wet, so but nobody's trying to farm or drain it. This is through a big sand flat. I went up there a couple different times looking for this tile out the ditch road outlet into, couldn't find anything there, couldn't really find any inlets or basins, riser pipes of any sorts, and it's through a giant sand flat, so it's hard to find where the low spot at, it's all sand. So I don't believe the tile is even existing, but I cannot, we have no money in this account to go out and really investigate. To be on the safe side, we recommended that NIPSCO put the gas under the driveway, so it has no interference with this tile line, because if it's anywhere, it would be there, because the historic aerials show the ditch being there at that spot, so. But they're here to seek a request to put it back.
Pull up the north on Beacon at the subdivision.
They're seeking to go back and put it back in the trench next to the, basically, westerly property line.
Can I speak openly on that then? So I'm here for the gas. There's an electric service that parallels it to an electric.
Zach.
Here has that.
He needs to go up there.
Oh, come on, yeah, come on. New rules are gonna be up there.
Oh, no issues. Yeah, so I can speak to the gas. The electric looks very similar to the gas. I can't speak much to it just because I'm not the engineer on the electric, but I know that their design is similar. When I took this project over, it was already started. I kind of walked into it. And the customer had already a gas line coming from the house on the west side of the property, basically on like an H-frame or remote meter situation. So we could run in 150 foot, connect to them at no cost from NIPSCO. Obviously, they incurred a cost when I was on site. That was already in place. So my anticipation was just to run to where that was located. So we got
Thank you.
environmental involved on our behalf. That's how that got.
Our-
It passed to
It
run
doesn't
to the
quite
east side.
match Beacon.
But when I was pulling up the research, there's a plat that was recorded by L. Taylor that makes it look as though that tile doesn't run similar, but way more on an angle than what's mapped on GIS. And so if we run by the driveway, there's two factors there. A, I think there's a better chance we come interference with the tile. B, the customer's already incurred a significant amount of cost to run their own gas and their own electric to where they have done so.
Did you guys see the plat that he just referenced that Samantha just had up? And that shows you flip back easy to close it. Not terribly hard. So I platted this a long time ago, 2006. And like he just said, that the records that we found or on site things that we found, you see how we mapped the center line of the ditch in a different place than where it's shown on Beacon. And
We mapped it off of the 1958 aerials the ditch was at. And I was here, I'm not sure. We were out there in 2000, it's all filled in, it's been filled in for years. So
I would have mapped it by if we didn't locate it, this would have been done by turning angles off of the actual field notes from when they laid it, not just, you're saying an open ditch aerials. Well,
open ditch aerials, yeah.
either way, there's definitely a 50 foot or 60 foot difference in where it might be.
I'm 99% sure that they pushed the ditch in and just vacated the ditch themselves and they put a pipe in because it's very costly to do. When they're trying to drain, it doesn't drain anymore. It becomes more wet than it ever has been because they just push the ditch in.
Well, isn't-
They just dug a pond.
Isn't the river just to the north?
Yes. There's a ditch and then it runs the river, but I've been out there walking the whole ditch back and forth. There's no, usually you can find a tile outlet somewhere, can't find anything. So in my opinion, they probably just bulldozed it shut, realized it was too hard to maintain and keep trying to drain the spot to the south. You can see to the south that tile starts, there's two pond areas.
Mhm.
Those used to be bigger and wetter. They dug ponds there, kind of far closer to the wetter areas, I guess. In my opinion, I don't think the drain exists. It's probably one that should be vacated in the coming year, whenever we got time to put on the agenda, especially with the process being vacated. So if you guys, on this one especially, since there's not a lot of stuff there, we don't have any records of the tile being there. You can see on the old ditch that was dug years ago, it's all I've ever seen of something ever being there.
What do we need to do?
So you'd like to see us to just let them approve it, put it in, and because you don't think there's anything that we can disturb.
I don't, by citing, if they just sort of if they happen to break something in the thing, they're required to fix it. So it's not like in the world if they somehow do hit a tile, they're required to fix it on the.
Come again?
The landowner would say something.
Oh, yes.
So that's our property and we've had it for.
Sure.
It's a new state law. You gotta go so you can be on TV.
Yeah, it's not you. It's you
No,
just,
it's a
just,
pain.
you gotta play the game.
I was little, like elementary. I'm 20, but we've had that property over like what, 10 years, and we've never got any notification of anything ever happening with that. So, and then we have people go in there, run like the electric all the way up to the house or whatever, and
Yes.
yeah, and they didn't find anything that had to do anything with that. So.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so for, a little more on that is that when we went and got the permit 2 years ago, we did got something, like this, like the first picture you guys had. And so that, in that picture, it shows that the thing is more towards where the, driveway is right now. So, I mean, if we were gonna be able, technically, if we were gonna be able to run the line from the neighbors to our house, it was gonna cross the, that
Ditch.
thing, the
yeah.
ditch anyway, so, we didn't see any, we thought, and I guess that was our mistake, we thought that if we went into where the driveway is, it was gonna affect more, since that's what we were looking at within that first picture that we got back in 2 years ago. And then when we came in to talk about it, then they gave us that picture. So how can you know it's now over here and not in the other place?
That's a word, that's a word.
Where, I mean.
Yep, that's a word, that's our dilemma.
You know what I mean?
If you look at the 58 aerials, that's the ditch that lays exactly behind that 50 aerials. There's an open ditch originally, in my opinion, because of, you can see it in the aerials. Then years later, in the 80s, it was gone. The bulldozers shut farmed over it. And I doubt they laid a tile in it, but if it was to be there, I guess that would have been the old drain line, per se. This tile or ditch never drain anything, and the tiles ran is pure sand. We're just trying to drain the upstream section of this wet hole that now are ponds. So I went to the ponds, talked to landowners, no outlet for ponds go up and down with water level. So in my opinion, I don't think the draining existing.
Who owns that where the ponds are?
Well, one's an Amish guy, one guy. That guy's not, I talked to him.
Guy flips houses all the time. Sheriff's sale,
When they dig the,
bond.
hole or whatever to put the wiring for the electrical and the gas lines, they didn't find anything.
Those where Phil Curtis used to live.
I mean, we've already spent quite a bit of money and we don't, obviously don't wanna spend another $20,000.
Right, you guys see any problems with it?
You're okay with it, Zach?
Yep.
I move to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I have a question. Clarification, so that includes the electric and gas
That's
both? Okay.
That's fine.
And I'll update the original permit and
Appreciate
email that over.
I do think that Ms. Natalie here, I think she can speak to all the other.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
We got a jam packed agenda. You wanna rotate back? to
Good for
the
you.
agenda?
Thank you, guys.
Are we, allowed-
Yes.
thank you.
IT, do a work order. Shit, bullshit.
So
All right.
You're here for the floor replacements then, ready to go?
Yes.
So we go back to the Sears floor replacement.
There's a guy wire in the way.
Yeah, so we just recently did this tile system that runs through here. And we spoke with your guys' engineer, or, I don't know, I guess, an army of people in Mexico. But they came out, they're supposed to move the guide wire from
Army
the
of
tile temporarily. Couldn't get hold of them, never came back, never did anything, so we went ahead and put the tile in between the guide wires because they wait for years.
Yeah.
Those guide wires were, we had no record of you guys having permission to put those guide wires on top of the tile. Luckily, that hit the tile, original tile, otherwise we had flooding issues, but nevertheless, if you're replacing this pole, is there any way to move the poles so those guide wires are not in conflict with our tile anymore? I don't care if it's close, I just don't want them stuck right on the top of it, and I don't know if that's good for you guys either to, we had to dig up, and I didn't feel real comfortable, but at the same time, you guys are not unresponsive to any type of request from our office, so it's hard for me to be responsive to you guys, these kinds of situations.
That was my exact question, I guess, when.
My hand.
Ma'am?
Oh, yeah, right. Sorry.
All right, yes.
That's gonna take a while to get used to.
It's gonna take a long time to get used to.
Is this like a different room or?
Yeah, we have to
Take
stream.
off, new rules.
New state,
All right, so this is not my
it's
first.
being recorded.
What's that?
We're being recorded.
It's on YouTube.
So Natalie Scaro, I am the permitting team leader at NIPSCO. I report to the 801 East 86th Avenue, Maryville location. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I'm on Central Time. But anyways, my team, as of the beginning of this year, took over regulated drain permitting. So historically, our engineers were responsible for getting these permits, but now that's being ran through our environmental permitting department. So things like, and I'll just add our environmental permitting department, when we go to construction on some of these projects, we have environmental inspectors checking for compliance with stormwater regulations, wetland permits, things like that. So when surveyors' offices and reg drain permits have conditions that say, locate this tile or be at least, 5, 10, 15 feet away from the tile, et cetera. Those are things that we communicate to our inspectors. You have to make sure construction does this. So just wanted to give you a little bit of a background and update on kind of our program and why I'm here. And so, yes, the number 20, or I guess, 224 Sears pole replacement, I noticed as well in our application. I was like, oh, those guide wires are looking like they're going directly in the tile. So, obviously there's a question about like for like replacement. So, is the surveyor's office, I guess, request that we then shift our pole location, I guess, is that west? North is up. West. So that way our guy wires are not in conflict with the tile. Is that the request?
One way or the other.
Okay.
I don't care I don't care where you move to, I just don't like when it's the guy wire and pole are right.
Yeah.
On top of our tile, because it kind of maintenance work makes it problematic in the future, because you guys are not, if you guys are easy to work with, you need to,
Well.
it's difficult to work with.
Maybe she's new. She said she's new and she just took over.
She learned this go.
Well, I'm here to help. I've worked at NIPSCO 13 years, so I can understand the I guess sentiment. But if I think you've noticed Kevin, I always mess up his last name. Kevin Hensing. He is with Civil Engineering Consultants. We hired him on specifically to support legal drain permitting for our team to essentially give these surveyors' offices a consistent point of contact. So in addition to him, we also have, I have a team of 10 permitters now. And that's growing. So you might get different permitters, you might get, just Kevin, but that's kind of how we're structured. So my goal with all having this responsibility is to increase consistency for you guys. So you know what to expect when you issue us a permit. We are, meeting your expectations with design requirements and everything. So the guy wire, do you have a specific, so you want the guy wire anchors just out of conflict with the new tile? Do you guys have, are your GIS records, I guess, relatively
We don't
accurate?
we don't have the
This one, there's a manhole or the inlet right by the road right here, shows the depth and location of the tiles at.
Oh, perfect.
I wouldn't mind meeting whoever's out there to show them where it needs to be out of. Yes, also on top of just the tile, this intersection is drained very well, and we're trying to contour the water to get to this new pipe, with the guide wire right away of that too for the road drainage. So this would help not only our tile, but also with the road drainage where we can contour the swale without having to have these big wires right in our way. Whoever put these thin, back in the day, in the early, late 90s and 2000s, did a horrible job, whoever the highway engineer, locate stuff like this in our intersections.
So I think we would entertain a motion to approve with the
Pending the relocation.
shifting of the guy wires.
Out of conflict with our tile and drain the intersection.
So moved.
Second.
They have a motion and a second to approve with the relocation of the guy wires and the shifting of the poles to be out of conflict with our tile.
You just have to look at mini excavator to work, not have stuff all over the place.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
So you'll be there when they do it, Zach.
I wanna-
What was your name again?
Natalie?
I have
Natalie?
some business cards. I dropped one off over to the deputy surveyor last week when I was.
But you've got 4 more.
Oh,
so-
I know, I'm gonna set this aside. When
Okay.
you introduce it.
when they do it, I'd like, if they need a meeting out there, I'll meet with them anytime out there to discuss the issues.
Okay.
Whoever's out there, the engineers that come out someday, look at it. So I'll let you know that.
All right.
Oh,
Don't watch, you get seasick.
Alright. Pole replacement on East Fly Creek here, and I assume this is just a pole for pole, same place?
Yes.
Okay, don't have a problem with this one.
Where's the pole? Doesn't matter. You have no problem with it? I don't have a problem with it either. You have a problem with it?
I move to approve the pole replacement, the number 227 at East Fly Creek.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve those as presented. All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next one.
Turkey
Next
Creek.
pole replacements on 150 North, by Turkey Creek, it's pole for pole, I assume. Not a problem with
Those are quite a bit away from the ditch too.
They're big ones.
So you're good with it? I move to approve pole replacement number 219 at Turkey Creek.
Second. Have a motion and a second to replace pole number 219 at Turkey Creek. All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next one's up on 1100 East, pole replacement from the cross, they have a drain, a Pigeon River Fish and Wildlife area, turn around, comes back. Don't have a problem with this one either.
Does it really go along the road and cross like that?
Ditch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Comes across this pretty culvert and right.
Never seen a 90 that hard before. It's like, okay.
On the road and turns and goes to the river, that kind of good stuff. It's an old ditch from an old, these used to be farm fields, actually, trees are at. It still drains quite a bit of water from the deep river, comes all the way down through here.
I move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Speaking of the gas one as well.
Yes, that one I don't have as diligent of notes, but I'm gonna do my best.
As long as you can represent it, that's all you need. Good, bad, or ugly.
So the plans look like it's coming down from the north, going 600 west here, then going on the north side, 100 south. Is that right?
Yep.
And then you're crossing this tile right here.
Yes.
Okay. And as long as you are, meet the requirements of permit to space your gas line, either below or above our tile. Either, and I'll get the tiles. There are 2 inlets right there inside the road. You can see how deep the tile is, very easy to inspect. So, should be too hard to miss that, but,
Okay, so there's inlets that, okay.
yep, there's one on the south side we just put in this year, and there's one on the north side pre-existing, because they were burnt this ditch bank off, and then the plastic pipe caught on fire, burnt her back into the, I was going to replace that section. Nobody claimed that they burned anything, but.
Oh, I bet they did.
Cigarette butt.
So, I have no problem with this one as long as they, meet the spacing parameters, and, this one's easy to locate because of the inlets right there, and the boring company should, be able to miss it, and have proper spacing, so I don't have really a problem with this one.
And the spacing requirement is called out in your guys' permit or approval, is it?
3 feet below.
But
3 feet below, or.
it's on the permit, isn't it? Does it say right on it?
It's in, I
In
don't
the-
know what number
in
it is. I think it's number 15.
Okay.
And if you can go, if it's, the tile's fairly deep, it's 6 foot deep. So if you can go on top, if you have your covering need, for requirements are for cover then as well. So that doesn't make any difference, as long as it's not conflict when it replaces tile, as long as it's above or below, it shouldn't be a problem. Work either one.
I move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion second to approve. Be helpful if you'd leave it up so I could at least read what was on the screen.
Easy with the clicker.
The gas installation at the number 26 Lambright and 14 Hostetler. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The only critical one was the one with guidewire. So if whoever the engineers are who are doing it, they call me and meet me out there, I can show them exactly. the situation.
Already did
Yep,
Jose.
design What they want, and as long as they can space out far enough, they can be in the right of way, we can go on forward.
Yeah, that's, I know exactly what you're talking
I think that's all.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thanks, Natalie.
about. Thank you.
So are you NIPSCO's gonna be around more, I guess, representative?
Said-
We'll never see her again.
For complicated permits like the, we had the customer issue, and we had a lot on your guys' agenda. So if not me, somebody from my team. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll leave my business card here and.
Thank you.
No
Thanks.
problem. Do you guys need me for anything else?
Nope.
Nope, that's it. That's good. Let me if you have any questions. All right, we got, first of big pipe 2 claims we got from Gilbert's. We've been doing this kind of on time and materials just because of, when I bid these jobs, it's hard to bid what we want done.
Is this the one over
because
by
there's-
you?
It's hard to spec all this stuff and it's hard to find
Quite a bit
contractors to do
north.
this work, but, he's been working pretty diligently for the last, I don't say 2 months on Turkey Creek, putting a lot of log jams, a lot of dead trees, mowing a lot of brush.
So he had that grinder on his excavator, was going up and down.
So he's.
Oh, he's got one of those.
yeah.
I bet that's pretty
It worked
sweet.
Pretty good. We had a few complaints of irrigation, streams getting clogged up and, this or that. We're trying to make Turkey Creek somewhat easier to access in the future, so if a tree goes down or if a tree goes down, we can get some back there.
Down.
So, it's
West
never really
of
been
your
addressed.
It's the same one.
East.
This really hasn't been addressed in almost a
What's
life
the
of rain,
Oh,
so,
it's east of you?
we're trying to bite it off now.
North.
We have some money they count
Okay.
and, Gilbert's has some time to do
For
it.
some
So
reason I
this
had
is
it in my
the
head that's
First claim of 2. They'll probably
this
have
was
another
the
one
bridge
not quite
right
this
west of
large.
you.
Coming in a month or 2 when he finishes up the upstream side, so it's good then.
Have you had any response from the guy on
Yeah, the guy that was all
275,
bent out of shape from.
275 south? We had any response?
We have not had a response yet. We got both green cards back. We sent it to 2 different addresses. Got both of them back
Both sign
on the 29th. It was mailed the 19th. Gave him 10 days from the date of the letter to get a proposal if he wanted to do it himself. They got it on day 10. And then Zach and I were talking yesterday. We did see that his wife passed away on October 3rd.
Ooh,
So
He's got
the
a lot going
recommendation
on.
to Zach that I gave yesterday was if we didn't hear anything in 30 days, we're going to move forward. So let's go ahead and stick with that. And on October 19th, if we hadn't heard anything, let's move forward.
because Gilbert's excavator is sitting at the property line.
oh, they're waiting.
They don't want to load up.
We're gonna jump around and do some stuff on the upstream side to buy some time here.
Oh, because the beans are off.
Well, and then there's some stuff on the inlet on the Cochrane ditch to the Little Turkey. They wanted people want some, it needs addressed too as well. So I've work for them to do for the next week or 2 until we get the timeline here. If Tony wants us to meet, that's fine. But I just, that's the update on that. So, I just need approval because this is outside, but I will tell you, doing some of this ditch clearing stuff does work a little bit on time and materials. I keep track of how much they do, how thick it was. I compare them about to other contractors and, how we bid in the past. And if they had to bid this job, they probably bid it 45, 50
Yeah.
grand just because of not knowing what you're getting into. Here, they can be a little more accurate and they're more fair in the sense that they can go do a little more if I want more done and they can, don't have to worry about making money because they're just on their time and materials. So I like doing it this way on certain ones. Other ones are pretty clean cut, just bottom dredging, not a lot of stuff. You can just bid those out. But when you're doing brush control, mowing, pulling log jams out, they bid these things to the roof because they don't know what they're getting themselves into. But they can do it cheaper. They like doing it and flexible with their time. I mean, they just like fill it work for them when they get a down day or 2 here or 3 days a month to do this stuff. So it's getting hard to find contractors to do this type of work because it is grueling, it's dirty, ground hornets, wading in water, pulling up, and then they've had a lot of complaints out there just because people, irrigation screens getting clogged and whatnot, but that's not my concern as much as it is trying to keep the ditch easy maintained and cost low, so.
They had multiple people complain or just one guy?
Just Ethan.
One guy complained repeatedly.
Ethan,
It was all the family, and then, but I think after it's all said and done with, I think they'll be happy that, they can access this now if they need to. There's a little sacrifice, during the time, but you be able to drive with a side-by-side or cooler down along here now. Hopefully some spraying, keep the brush down, tracks the factor without, we put a couple culvert crossings, just on some lateral drains so we can track across it versus trying to track through or around. Some of these places were hard to access, now they're gonna be more easy to access, so. If you have any questions on it, I can,
No, I've seen a lot of what they've done. I'm surprised
I haven't seen it at all.
It looks
surprised
good.
there's not more actually, because it was pretty woolly back there.
it's rough, some spots are bad, other spots are really bad, they're right in, just got another Pigeon River area, and that was pretty rough back in there. But,
I don't get out
I
of
move
here.
we approve.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Old
The bell.
business, talk about, you guys had Tony send a letter to, I think you guys saw the, demonstration letter, I guess, you call it, the Amish guy that lives here with this Cloverleaf pond, with the debris that plugged the tile a couple times. He's, didn't seem like he should be responsible for it, and,
Have you looked at it with it being so dry lately? Because I looked at it. Was that August? I went and looked. Well, I got the picture. Look. When I went and looked at it, the water looked great then, but I mean,
our issues are in the springtime when we get a lot of.
right.
So,
He made some legitimate points in his letter. I think.
Yeah, so it's not his fault, not all his fault.
We didn't have any trouble until he started messing with it, is my understanding, so
yeah, I think
something's changed.
the previous landowner, I don't know what happens in the springtime.
It
the
was
water
July I
comes up,
went and looked at.
all the debris in the edges floats and it all works its way across, especially if you get a south wind in the springtime, if you get a south wind. Congregates right there where his outlet is.
Is it outlet to the north?
Outlet's to the north, yep. So it'll congregate all the stuff, whether it be scum, leaves, sticks, debris. And I don't know how the previous landowner cleaned it, but obviously you should go out there like a pool skimmer thing, like just screen it off. But for whatever reason, it's a lot of work. They just pull that gate that flows over the top, goes in the pipe, kind of like flushing the toilet. So I don't know how these landowners are maintaining it a little different than the previous landowner as far as that screen and letting debris through. Now that tile can handle a lot of debris, but what's the threshold? How much? I mean, at some point, we shouldn't be putting much of anything down there. We have a few leaves and stuff, but how do we control that? How do we control each spring when the water gets high and it gets over there? How do we make sure that this debris gets cleared off? Who's
Even
responsible?
casually would be better than all at once. Casually stuff,
Casually, yes.
going through is a lot
So
different.
it all congregates there, it's stuck there, and then you open it, it's all at one time versus like, oh, well, the leaf and this little stick and,
Right.
But I don't really want any debris in there. It's an ideal thing, if you're gonna put your riser pipe, it's like a farmer would know that you put a riser pipe up and then you move that hole, should be going that tile because it has the potential of falling the tile. So
How-
I talked to Tony a little bit. Options here are to retrofit the outlet or ideally tile around the pond. In the past, when we do tile projects, we just tile around them and go alongside the pond. That way, really minimizes the amount of debris, actually no debris. Just having any kind of open ditch, open pond go into a tile system is always a place of problematic problems all throughout time. So what do you guys thought on it, I guess?
So to do that, you would have to establish, somehow you'd have to have legal rights to do that on a new stretch of
Yeah.
property, right?
Or, the old stretch would have been through the pond, you fill the pond and put the tile through it. I think that's-
Or you go 75 feet off the edge of the pond. You've got
Right away.
at the right of way.
Yeah.
Just go along the
The pond
edge.
was all done illegally. This guy didn't dig it. Back in the 60s or 70s when a guy had a drag line that lived here and dug it with there was no oversight then. He just went out and did stuff. Well, now we're starting to see that lack of oversight starts to cause some issues in the future. So
Well, and the thing is all that water going to that pond drains a lot of
it's a lot of
ground.
water.
A bunch.
How big is the outlet?
18,
It's either 18 or 24.
I think it's 18. Yeah, it's 18.
It's size, I mean,
I'm pretty sure it's 18 since we put the downstream section. He did have a 20-inch. It was a hodgepodge mess. I don't know.
So there's two tiles coming into the pond
Correct.
Mhm.
and you would go on each side.
Ideally.
You have money in there to do that?
On the east side, connect it with the one that's on the west, on the south side, then bring them both around to connect to the north.
probably wouldn't have the right amount of right of way to
Potentially.
do it.
We haven't looked in, I haven't went out there and shot a bunch of stuff and done anything yet. So if you guys said, oh, I don't do that, I'm not gonna mess with it. If you guys say, let's look at the cost, what it costs and.
Can
how long it
we-
would be.
Instead, could we get a 24-inch riser and just bolt on a Higginbottom
That's the other.
riser and
Modify the outlet would be the other thing.
The outlet to the pond.
make it so he can't
Correct.
take it and let the stuff up. Bolt something that rises, and if the sticks, then the water rises up and goes.
We put big, for big pressure pipes
Mhm.
and that would probably work. But the debris will still get around that riser pipe and you'd have to scoop it off or it'd start flooding or go up to certain thing. That's probably the cheapest option.
Or he might get an indoor swimming pool.
Or.
Well, and the thing, he's got to
or-
keep
or-
that
and
pond
I'll-
looking
I'll
nice.
ride
When
the
I was
bike
back
on
there, it was
maybe
nice.
He gets tired of all the debris, he just takes it, pulls the thing off because he just slide on there and screw on. How am I supposed to? He's like, well, the pipe was there. You know, I'm like, how does stuff get in there? And I mean, it's a monitoring situation. They're like, how do you remove it? Because those things aren't securely put on. I mean, you just go out there and pop one off, or you know. So that's the problem with it. It's not really secure.
And you
But
can
it's-
bolt
it
them,
would-
but-
it would work
Corey,
then.
get your waders on, just put some bolts in it.
Two
There
things.
you go.
It would work, Ben, you're correct. That would probably solve the issue. They have a big orange riser pipe sticking out of a seawall over there, which you would not like. I know
That's
that.
fine. Two things. I think first of all, we probably got his attention to where he won't do that again. So I would also start with a cheaper, less expensive option.
So big riser pipe at the outlet.
Yep. That's what I'd do.
And you can paint it black if you
paint
want.
them. You can paint them back, black, gray, pink, whatever.
Camouflage.
We have used those in 3 other drain projects on open ditches that come into a tile.
Yeah.
So we have, and so far they all work. So I believe that'd be an option. I know just not probably like it, but I don't think that's what they'll care at this point. So,
And he said in the letter that there was places it was broken where the outlet and stuff. Do you think it needs to, is it really that broken down or not?
I don't think so. I think I'll have to look at it again. It's been a month or two.
No, I was just going off the letter.
I haven't read
Well,
it.
we gotta fix the downstream section. We just bid that out.
Right.
Oh,
The
okay.
downstream section.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah, that'll be fixed this winter, fall. Yeah, that's what we thought. Yeah, that'll all be
Mhm.
fixed downstream. So I'll probably have the contractor that's doing the downstream section, do the small riser when they're there, this fall, or next spring.
Let's try that and see how long it goes.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. I think that's a good idea. So we'll just go with that for now. Other business, the only thing I also want to talk about real quick, got some time, is last month, me, Ben, Zach, and Tony, Corey all went over to the roundtable discussion with the neighboring county surveyors on the Hume Drain Fund versus the assessment way we're doing it now. And it went really good, pretty informative. They bought us lunch, it was really nice of them to do that. I've been to all these meetings before, and didn't get much out of it, so this one was pretty good as far as interaction with local county surveyors that deal with some same issues we deal with, and different ways that they attribute, whether you have short staff or big watersheds or less small watersheds. So I'd like to know if you guys have any questions, or I can start going over kind of what they went through a little bit, but it's pretty direct and pretty basic. Kind of basically what I thought what it was. There's no other big surprises in my opinion, what I found out. So you guys have anything sticks out in your head or anything you want to know about?
I mean, it would just basically be Todd or Kevin because
We were there.
we were all there.
Correct.
I guess. the
And
only thing
Sam
I-
wasn't there.
You missed
Who do you
Taco
have to get?
Bar.
Who do you have to get on board? County council, county commissioners, both.
So
Gotta get commissioners to authorize that, seek approval from the council.
So you probably be talking to them if you think.
Well,
well,
we need to,
We have one-
we need,
Right,
we need
but
to
I mean-
decide
I
if we
mean-
want to do it or not
Right,
too.
but
you have one commissioner here.
Hey, that's you.
So
Do you want some time to look at this? Do you want to hear about it? You want him to give a summary?
I hear what Zach says.
You want to hear a summary?
Elkhart County does this, and they started, what'd they say, 70,
87.
is late 70s, I think, like
Yeah.
77, 78, something like that. Wasn't that what
I
they
wasn't,
said?
I would,
Didn't really matter.
I didn't care when it started.
But no, the reason I said that is on the basis Elkhart County was a lot different back then than what it is now. And they had no letters that were people upset were about it.
Because nobody knew any different. Because
Nobody knew any different.
Everybody always been paying in. Everybody pays in. Everybody benefits, and nobody know. It's just part of their taxes.
But that was kind of interesting about some of the other counties that even don't have it. They have all their drains turned on, so everybody's always getting a bill. And so
Yeah, who's the guy sitting to my right?
Noble County,
No, it wasn't Noble County. It was the next guy over. It was by Lake Wawasee. What county is that? Kosciuszko.
so yeah, the fact that people in the county are always used to getting some bill for their drain. a lot of the issues that Zach's running into is this stuff hasn't been done for so long.
Right.
All of a sudden now, I
It's
get,
so
why am I
behind.
paying for this? And why is it so high? Well, 'cause it hasn't been on at a low rate for a long time, so there's no money built up in there, so.
No,
That's-
Kosciuszko, that surveyor, he's been there for what, ever?
No, he, like 7, 8 years. 9 years.
Okay, but what he was saying is they've always kept up on it, so they have the same setup as LaGrange County, but they're not behind.
The thing I thought was the neatest, just is Noble County, which was Randy Sexton, then Scott Ziegler, and then Randy Sexton again, is they use people from the jail and they keep all of them on. And whenever one starts to get close to being shut off, they go out and do some work on it. And they do something. They do something to cause it to stay on. Whether, go send guys out to cut trees or run brush, and they have all their own equipment. No, I'm not saying we should do that. I'm just saying I admire that they use people from the jail, and they have a guy that's what he does. I just thought that was cool.
Well, and he never said he had trouble with any of the inmates or stuff
It's
like
because he's we didn't ask specifically about that
that. Yeah.
because I know there's been some issues, but
Well, you might want to pay attention on, never mind, it doesn't matter.
Well,
so
we could do that either way. I mean,
but I mean, it would be difficult. It'd be one more thing for a person to keep track of all of them. Like, oh, this one's getting ready to.
Randy's in, so.
Let's
every
go
county-
have somebody do some work there.
Every county's in a position in different aspects. Kosciuszko County would like to do the Cume Drain Fund, Elkhart. They're in a unique position that all their high-priced real estate is in corporate towns. So when they go do the Cume Drain Fund.
It doesn't work.
They can't do the math. They can't make it work. He would love to do it that way, but without having their cooperation with the corporate towns, Elkhart's a different ballgame. We are different. Now, Noble County, Randy's like, I like the way it is. Well, Randy has most of them are turned on. He has 6 to 8 people in his office, which is a game changer. Meaning managing drain accounts when you have that many people manage them is not a big deal. If you're trying to do it with me, Sam, and Corey, well, this is the same kind of format. It does not work very well. They have a separate whole secretary, does all the public hearings, all the drainage stuff. One secretary does all the surveyor stuff. He has deputies that take over all these contracts and be able to disperse that work to use it that aggressively. If we're gonna continue to do what we're doing and want to do that pace to catch up, then we need to have a few more people to keep up with the pace. All the splits, transfers, the more we turn on, the more work there is to do.
that's
And
probably
those
not gonna
transfers-
happen.
That ain't gonna
Getting
happen.
more
Ain't gonna
people is not gonna
It's
happen.
not gonna happen. You're exactly correct. So the only downside to this that I could see in being here so long, being here long enough, is it does fall within the property tax levy. That's what the council is gonna balk at, because they're cutting property taxes supposedly the next so many years, and none really know exactly what's going on, and it's hard to know what's gonna happen in the next couple of years. And that's okay, but at the same time, it falls in that property tax levy, which it still work, but they would have to be willing to do that. And the willingness to do that would be so-so. If not, next 5, 10, 15 years, you're gonna be falling further behind or barely keeping up. So it depends on what kind of approach we're gonna take to this. And I don't think it's right that even St. Joe County over next door, they have a small area like we do. They don't have the Cume Drain Fund, but they have 4 or 5 watersheds across the whole county. That's it. And they're all turned on. So we'd have Turkey Creek, Fly Creek, Buck Creek, Eden Row. We'd have just these 5 drains.
Mhm.
They have maintenance money coming all the time. But they'd spend, if the town is reconstructed in the East Fly Creek, they use the maintenance money.
Mhm.
Tony frowns upon that very much so, but everybody does it. That's the other option. The only problem that it creates is
They do.
all the splits and transfers we still have to go through. Every time that, and all Buck Creek, every time there's a split transfer, we have to go through each year and figure out how many acres split, what that went to, go through the spreadsheet. Takes a lot of resources and time for not much difference if you just charge the Cume Drain Fund.
I think Steuben does pretty much the same as St. Joe, don't they?
Correct. And they also have another staff person to
do
They
that.
don't do nearly as many public hearings, and they were in better shape when they took over,
Mhm.
when we're turned on.
Mhm.
We went pretty aggressive when Sam came on here. We went pretty aggressive on a lot of public hearings, a lot of hearings on, a lot of stress, a lot of work. And we're to a point now, we're like, okay, we can manage what we turned on. If we're turning more on and keep going, that becomes more problematic, because each spring, Sam goes through and does all these transfers and splits. How much more can you do in the timeline? Down stitches, all this stuff. It's not easy to do with a 3-person staff on that.
When you
way.
say transfer and splits, you're talking about survey divisions and plats, right?
So when I have 8
Right.
acres over there and shaped one, and all of a sudden has an auction, there's 6
Yeah.
tracks.
Well, the new ordinance, you can only sell property once. It has to be 20 acres or more.
It's not on
So
the west, that's only on certain.
it's only on the east half. I guess that's only on.
What's time consuming about the splits and transfers is I have all these spreadsheets made. I try to upload my spreadsheets in, and then it kicks all the errors out to me. So I spend weeks, and sometimes I have to come down, I'm like, Meryl, I can't find this, piece of ground. And so I have to, she helps me find things sometimes that I can't find, and then I have to figure out if it's something that Matt has done for us. And I have to get with Matt and
Matt
say,
Mearsman?
hey, yeah, here, because
Right.
they use a different equation. It's not just a per
It's
parcel
still
per
type and split
acre.
off.
And
Well, that sounds fun.
I spend weeks, and I have a deadline to have it all done and uploaded so that we can send out tax bills.
You can't talk to Sam this couple months there. The phone calls are still coming in for other questions and whatnot. Luckily, it's winter time, it's a little slower, but it's not to the point to where if we're gonna bite off anymore, then we need to figure out a different way of doing it. Either we need more people to manage it, or we need to get a system to work with. And Cume Drain Fund is an option I think is realistic. We could do a lot of work with a 3-person staff, and it cuts out a lot of the details as far as the reconstruction. We still have to have small public hearings for stuff, but not near to the aspect of management in our office that we have today and will in the future continue to keep going. And I'm not gonna grant us any more people. That's fine, but this is the other option. Otherwise, we just manage what we're doing, we just do less work.
And you still figuring on the 3 cents per 100
Whatever it
of
takes,
assessed value?
whatever it takes to generate your 800,000 to $1 million.
I think wasn't it 3 cents what we were looking at? Something like that.
So it would fall within that. And then if you went a couple of years, once you get caught up on some of these drains.
Yeah, you could back it down to Elkhart because they only do
the
1
you
cent.
collect, I think Elkhart County has 2.8 million or something like that banked. They're collecting around like $300,000, $500,000. So because they banked enough, the drain's good enough shape, they're not spending as much. So it's a way to kind of get back ahead or catch up, I guess. And keep your staff low as far as minimizing your obligations on public hearings, all the splits, transfers, all that stuff. It's
You wouldn't have to do any of that?
no, because you're getting
Everybody pays.
everybody pays on an assessed value of their property. So any piece of property that gets put in as a split, they built a house on it, it has assessed value, we take a percentage of that assessed value, goes into the property tax, which comes into our office that we can spend on drains.
So we have one fund, all the money is coming into the monitor instead of the maintenance fund, the GDI fund, and each individual drain fund,
Yeah.
which is what I do now.
There's like
All
50,
Right.
just shy of 60 of them, isn't there?
It doesn't. So I guess I'd like to hear, you guys want to go on with this? Pursue it?
Yes, I think there's
Merit?
much because
The
we're
only-
not gonna get more people to work in the surveyor's office, and we have established the fact that we are behind on a lot of these ditches, tiles, open ditches.
The only
Money
apprehension,
for years.
Right.
Zach's talking about Turkey
So the
Creek.
question is, can you sell it, Kevin?
the only
I like
apprehension,
it. I really do.
I do too.
I like it.
apprehension I have is,
Zach, you're thinking 800,000 to $1 million a year, or you want to accumulate, I should say.
So it comes down to the capacity of what our office can receive. Now, we started to, remind you, Kevin, we do have money in these accounts, like Turkey Creek, and these things we've been accumulating over the last 5 years and we turned them on.
Yeah.
So we can use, the rule is you expire that money out of there first, and we basically turn all the assessments off. If it's passed, all these current assessments go off, so nobody's paying assessment of the Buck Creek or the bar tile. Those all go off. Those money we have collected stay in those accounts. We'd spend that money first in those accounts. If the bar tile needs to be done, it's gonna cost $800,000 out of $400,000. We'll spend $400,000 first, and $400,000 out of the
New
Ukraine
fund. Mhm.
But, so we have, how should I say this? 800,000 $1 million is perfect to start out with, and then as we deplete those funds, it depends on how, as we get caught up on these things, we're hoping to spend less money on them. in the
I think what
future.
he's asking is
I think it's enough for now.
how much, how many projects do you, would
Well,
$1 million
$1 million
cover how many projects you want going? You and Corey, you three can oversee.
But things
What's
will
obvious
change.
to me is Zach's
$1
done
million,
some
$1
homework.
million is all I can oversee a year between me and Corey to do it responsibly. Because to spend any more money than that to oversee it, it gets too much for two people to see.
That and could you even get enough contractors to even do it anyway?
Yeah.
Work more than that.
Hard.
I mean, you have to pull them from other places and they'll be more expensive.
You don't want to do that.
No, I think it's a good spot, and I always say that 800,000, $1 million, and then if we get a couple years and we bank a little bit, we're not spending as much, we can always take it down to 2 cents, 1 cent, just like I'm talking about.
And Todd, it can't go more than 5 cents. It can't. But I don't think you'd ever need 5 cents.
God, I hope not.
So the property tax caps, the ditch assessments now that we have do not.
Well,
Come
outside
in.
that levy.
So the problem is gonna be if the county council says we don't want to include that, say, million,
$800,000.
800,000, because that's gonna limit the county budget. That's what we've got to proceed to
the
figure
problem.
out. Somebody needs to figure that out. Must be somebody smarter than me.
No, I don't understand. What do you
So
mean?
now the ditch assessments are not, the state is, I learned this because I'm on the school board too. They put property tax caps on so much you can collect. And then what do they call it? Something comes into play and it stops so you don't have to pay. It's basically to keep the voters happy. I think we're at a breaking point on property taxes, actually. There's a lot of people, I mean, we paid record amount this past year. And so they're looking for ways to relieve that. So they're limiting municipalities and schools. And so they say there's a circuit breaker. That's what they call it, isn't it? And the circuit breaker trips at such a point. So there's only so much that they are allowed by the state legislator to municipalities, counties, schools. And currently the ditch assessments do not trigger that circuit
Fall
breaker.
within a tax amount.
But if we put this on the county,
Then it'll fall in the tax levy
Then
and it's
it'll-
gonna trip.
trip that breaker sooner, and it may hinder the county's budget.
So there's a possibility it ain't even gonna work anyway.
That's the drawback.
I don't know,
But we
don't
used
know
to
where
be
that
one of the
is.
lowest counties
correct.
in the state.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
So the financial guy that.
you see what I'm saying, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm trying to absorb all this, sorry. No, listen, I was interested in what Todd was saying.
I can see why they wouldn't want to do it. I can see why they would want to do it, but can't.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. And somebody in
Hearing
the,
that. I like,
office
I like
would look that up.
real well.
But the only
I think it'll make a
apprehension,
lot of people happier. So I just tell you, I've been going to quite a few meetings on SB1, SLSBS going on. And they don't know what, the problem is, we've talked about a lot. We'll set the day and list the meeting, and this is what we're gonna do, but that's gonna change. Every meeting we've heard that at the end, but this is going to change. And they're talking, Braun wants to reduce property taxes. He wants to do away with them, but they're gonna throw 2.9 out there at us, we're gonna be paying. They're making
2.9.
up for that. Yeah, I wish I had this all in front of me now. 2.9%, yeah. But we're gonna,
those are
we may not pay property tax, but we're gonna still be paying.
sure,
Yeah.
but it's a matter of the burden of who pays. And those are philosophical arguments. And so as a farmer, I say we're taxed
Oh,
on
yeah.
the assets that we make money with. And if we make money, we're taxed on the money we make.
Like
So
that.
to me, that's an outdated tax. So I do think they're trying to get away from that. It's a long, very lengthy, dirty process. And so maybe the county government can't afford to have that $800,000 onto the tax roll because it'll trip this, I think they still call it a circuit breaker.
Or especially right now with the unknowns.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is
I believe
So
you
that's-
can right now, they'd be reluctant to not really future goals.
Say it again, Zach, please.
Just from the numbers I know,
Right.
we fall way below the property tax
Okay.
circuit breakers. There's lots of room there. but they don't want to use up that room. We live in a very conservative county.
Correct.
Since we're still living on major moves money on some stuff that a lot of us back in Mitch Daniels was all in high school. So almost to the point
Hey.
that we're so conservative.
I was on council then.
I was in grade school.
What was in this office, 2007, 8?
You got out in 2012. Yeah.
12 was when I was on council.
So we can be so conservative to a hindrance of us sometimes as well, because we want to be fiscally responsible, but we also need to utilize resources wisely, efficiently. And if not, we're gonna offset it with another employee or two if we want to keep going the pace we're going.
Correct.
That's the difference. I can slow things down. We can do less work and we'll just keep everybody's path the same. If anybody comes in and wants to bite off more work, I'm gonna say, how?
Yeah.
Why? And at some
Right.
point, even Steuben County has 2 secretaries to manage that stuff. And they're doing a lot less work and a lot less public hearings than we are with 2 people. So that's
But
That's
you ever
what
been
we're-
to that office? So anyway,
good.
the other concern, major concern about this is bringing the towns on board, because this doesn't include towns. Nobody's mentioned that yet again today. Would you
So we
briefly run that
We
by?
talked about that there. They said you can have options. You just don't do much work in town. And typically, in Elkhart County, there's been a joint effort, meaning the towns will come to you and say, hey, we're experiencing some drainage problems. Why don't we split this cost? Even though it's my regular drain, I say, I'm not gonna spend money because you guys don't spend any money on this drain. So Supply Creek started flooding here in town, our backup water starts flooding town people out. The town's gonna come to us, and say, hey, we need to get this cleaned up. I'm thinking, well, I'd like to clean it for you, but the drainage board's not big on cleaning it because you guys don't pay anything in. So then at that point, they usually get to a joint agreement, kind of saying, hey, why don't we spend 50% of it, and we'll split 50% of it, and it's a $100,000 project, 50 grand and 50 grand. They have money available to do stuff like this with, but we're not gonna do it scot-free. Or you vacate drains in town, like the bar tile would be a good one, basically, because it just serves town Topeka. They maintain all the bar tile, which is very expensive. They don't want that, so they'll probably be willing to come to the table and say, hey, we'll either pitch in some money, or we do a project in town, we'll do a joint agreement, because realistically, if the bar breaks down, the only people affected are the people in town.
Yeah, so it wouldn't affect us.
Yeah.
But Fly Creek, everybody, you
But
know,
if I clean upstream and downstream, there's a slug hole here, it's gonna be, here's the problem. So I'm not too worried about that as much. It's something that we can discuss with town managers when it comes time, if we wanna do joint efforts when we do projects, or if it's something we wanna pitch in a value each year to that drain.
I just wonder if we should bring them in right in the beginning.
I think you need to do that.
Or talk
Council first.
council
Oh,
first.
yeah.
If I can't get anything to council.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Then it's done.
it's a go.
But I'm saying if the councils gets on board before we,
If they're saying I won't pass it, the town's getting agreement, then we go to towns.
I think we should bring, because we could bring them in. And maybe we give them a different rate. Maybe we give them, like if we're doing 3 cents outside to farmers, maybe in towns we do 1 cent.
It would be up to them what they do, correct?
Oh, I guess they'd
Yeah,
have,
we don't have nothing to do with it.
we would still, if they want us to
You can
manage the
request-
money.
you can
Oh,
request money.
yeah.
You can request so much, you can
Not do a project unless they do an interlocal agreement.
Right.
But that would just take so long to get,
I know.
Well, I
To
think
get-
they did it once, they might wake up.
well, I just wanted to say out loud that it doesn't, remember, it doesn't
Yeah.
include the towns. And before we go all the way through this,
You have a lot of people who aren't paying an assessment now that will be paying assessment because they're not in a legal, they're not in a watershed now.
Right.
And you'll have people who do
Right.
benefit like Fly Creek and Bar that
The two-
are paying and will not have to pay.
The only one, in my opinion, the only drain that would be Fly Creek through drainage. We could vacate Bar Tile, we could vacate the drain door on Chippewa. And we only have what's in Wilkeville.
okay, that's what I was gonna ask. So we've got Terry Martin in Chipshawana, who is a commissioner, so he'll know all about it. Mark Eagleston here in
I'm
LaGrange.
commissioner for Shipshawana, by the way.
Okay. Stuart Bender, who's Topeka, and who's Wokeville. I
They
know,
don't have a town manager.
don't have
They
town,
council.
they have town council.
They barely have that.
They got a town council.
The problem is with Wookaville is it's split between 2 different counties.
But the bar tile and the drains in Chippewa are all top of the watershed. We can
Right.
finish the vacates with the town was down, and they can deal with everything in town, and it drastically reduced my cost of maintaining stuff. Their market deal, all that stuff's Park tile, all that's the only
But
town.
all those people that live in those towns are also voters for county council and county commissioner. So that's a
Correct.
political issue at that point, that you're just gonna vacate those tiles in town because it isn't good for the drainage board. It does, it will.
Well, I don't know,
affect
they
a lot.
can't, want to pay in and have a joint.
They want to help, yeah, it ain't no big
But
deal.
we're not gonna maintain them, they're paying $0 into it. Have a hard time spending money in that area, if they're gonna contribute anything.
The
That's
drainage
why
board is
unfortunately
appointed
you
by
do it
the
through local
commissioners.
legislation.
But just fine, we'll address that when we get there, so.
Speaking of, where's the new member?
The,
Glenn?
Is there any
The only-
other questions you have?
yeah, I would like for somebody to find out how close the county budget is to that circuit breaker thing. Who?
He doesn't work here. He's the
Okay.
guy that the council hires to do all that stuff.
Okay,
He's very smart, he knows it, he knows the stuff better than anybody, so.
yeah, it'd be hard to know. So it'd be interesting.
Sam, you had a question.
I do. How, I guess.
Because you're gonna have to sell it. You don't know.
Checked our current drains have negative GI balances.
Ooh, that's a great question. How
Who?
many of those are there? Do you know,
Not
roughly?
off the top of my head,
3?
no.
10? 50?
Probably not 10. I probably maybe half a dozen.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
5 or 6, yeah, it's good close.
How negative?
Some of them are a few thousand, some of them, I know I've
Okay.
got one that's like $60,000. That's for the GBI. I just wanna know how
We
that
have-
switches over.
Correct. What I would do is turn them all off, I would pay those down with the Team Drain Fund, just pay them to zero at the end of the day, because at some point, where it's not gonna be perfectly fair, like, well, let's keep this one.
Yeah,
open,
that's
we're
true.
gonna-
Life's not
This
fair.
will change the trajectory going into the future, of course, isn't like one of those things where.
I say that way too much in my
A little bit of
house.
problem in the beginning, but this is a long-term
I do
short-term sacrifice, long-term, hopefully gain
Used to
for
it, wasn't
efficiency. So, you can't get caught down in the nitty-gritty details that are kind of like, well, we should do it because of this, like, okay, we have the big picture here, not just.
I'm not saying don't do
I
it.
think
like
we're gonna
the
do
idea
it. We
of
need to
doing
get
it. I
started
just-
now.
That's what we do.
Yep.
like-
Since I'm.
Well, it's really hinges on you. Because you're gonna be our main representative going to the commissioners.
Well, he
And
said he's positive about it.
he is,
No, I'm
but,
very-
I
I
wanted,
like it.
I just want to reiterate how
110%
important,
behind it.
how important it is that you're,
I think there's some blockades along the way, but I think we need to go for it real hard.
I do too.
The only, like I was gonna say, the only apprehension I have is you're gonna have money from a taxpayer that's in Shipshewana area, and their money is gonna be going to Stroh, Wilkeville, but
The
at the
same
same
as-
time,
same as our roads.
I understand. That's what I was just getting ready to say, but it's just like our roads, and then you run into, it would eliminate a problem over there by me, that Debo thing. That's gonna take 3 years to clean a section of ditch. Well, 3, if something, Gilbert's don't come into it because they ran out of money, so you gotta stop and leave for a year, and then come back, and then use your $7,000 that account builds a year, and then leave, and then come back, and then if everything goes rainbows and unicorns, which it's not, then he's like, hey, I need another $5,000 to finish digging this out because I ran into XYZ trees, muck, marrow, blah, whatever. And then, okay, now it's taken 4 years to clean 2 miles?
And,
Would you say it's 2 miles, Zach?
yeah, dude.
Give or take?
Sometimes always the third time.
There's
Yeah.
Versus this way, it's like, hey, I need 25, 30 grand to clean this ditch. Okay, see ya.
40 grand we do only in 1 year.
And I'm done in 3 weeks instead of 3, 4 years.
Sam, do anything else? Zach, do anything else?
So we will go to the commissioners next, I guess. I'll talk to my staff meeting. And then we will see what they say, and then we'll get on the council and if they feel like it's gonna be, they have to make a motion, a positive recommendation, I guess, to pursue and do it further.
Okay, I'd like to do,
And Todd wants to know how much, where we are at the circuit breaker at Nick's.
I think you're gonna need to put that in the sales pitch
The
because
problem I have with it,
Sales
or just
pitch.
don't tell, bring it up.
exactly what
the
it is.
problem, Todd, one problem
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
you're
is,
right.
the amp right now, the circuit breaker's 50 amps. Well, that's gonna be 40 amps next year, 30 amps. So
Right.
looking at passive handle, they're changing the amperage on us, the breaker, so it's like, I mean, right now we have this pretty big gap that they're closing, you know, what can we handle? You know?
Exactly.
You're gonna present it in a staff meeting, though, Zach?
I wanna talk about the staff meeting.
That's the
and if
best
you
thing,
guys-
yeah. Staff meetings, we cannot make decisions in staff meetings.
But then if you guys are on board with it, when we pursue it, then I would motion at the public meeting, to pursue it. in the
Yeah.
council.
So it's something we can discuss and ask questions, get some answers to, and then go on with it.
Okay.
I move adjourn.
Second.
Motion second, to close the meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
It sounds selfish, but it would really. What, we have signatures or